Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So most of you probably know about the muhurta, which is the electional astrology. This means that we are not only reading the chart, but we can also set the chart in such a way to get the best outcome. So this is called the muhurta or electional astrology. If we know what are the rules of the planets in the specific houses, we can set the ascendant and also the chart in such a way that we are getting the best results, the best outcome. In Vedic Astrology, we have many types of chart. The Jataka, which is the birth chart, is not the only one, however it's most popular one. We have the Prashna chart, which is the answer from the nature. So if a person has any type of questions, we can draw a chart at the time when the astrologer decides to answer this question. We have also the muhurta chart, which is the chart for specific activity just at the start, and this can help us to determine the success or the outcome of activity. So we can manipulate this chart. So this is very important because now it is not only about reading what's going on, but you can set it, you can calibrate the muhurta chart to get the best outcome. So in the last video we were talking about the Prashna, how we are using the Varga charts and especially the Navamsa. In the Prashna we can also use the other Vargas, but that is a little bit more advanced. Now when we talk about the Muhurta, which is the electional astrology, this is when we want to start some important activity, and we know that just like our birth is start of our life and there is a karma of our life, of our birth, then similarly each event we are starting, the outcome is controlled by the planets which are present on the map of heaven in the time of starting this activity. So we know that the destiny of each activity, its outcome will be controlled by the planets which are there. If you are going more into this astrology, then you are also getting into the habit of checking the muhurta of starting the activity. Is the day good? Is the nakshatra? Is the tithi? What about the chart? Are there any planets in the 8th house and so on? So we will discuss these things in the chart. In the last videos we were talking about using the Varga charts in the Jataka, which is the birth horoscope. We were also talking a little bit about the Prashna and using the Navamsa, and now we will talk a little bit about the Navamsa in the Muhurta. Starting with the bigger projects, for this we can use the Dashas, especially the Navamsa here is very handy. So for example, if there is inauspicious Dasha for career life, it can be for 1 year or 2 years, then if you can wait, then you can use this for your benefit. You can use the Antardasha and Pratyantardasha with the Navamsa chart, and you can see which time is good for starting the activity. When you decide that this period is good, then you can use, for example, the transit of the sun. We know that when sun is in the Trikona to Arudha Lagna, these months are very good for the career life, and you can use also the other Arudas for this. So we know that the sun will be changing every month. So with this, you can use also the month. So now if we have this, then we need to eliminate some days. So I have 3 things in mind here. One would be the combustion of Jupiter, one would be the combustion of Venus, because this is what the Shastra is talking about. So you can see if the Jupiter or Venus are combust. And then even more important, the Karaka Yuddha, which means that if the planets have the same degrees, then we say that there is some kind of black hole in the chart. So then this muhurta is not auspicious. So we are using these days when there is no Karaka Yuddha, or in other words, the day when there are no planets which are having the same degrees. And then after that, we are opening the Muhurta Chintamani, because now we are going to the Panchanga. There are some tithis, there are some nakshatras, there are some days which are good or bad, and this also depends on the activity. For example, for Venus-related activities, Mercury is not the best because the Mercury is sign, the Virgo, where the Venus is debilitated. So this also depends on activity. For example, the Shastras are saying that the first day when you are inviting your spouse to your parents or vice versa, the Wednesday is not the best time. And also for marital mothers, the Jupiter in a Simha, according to Shastra, it's said not to be so auspicious. So this also, we can use the transit, you can use the Panchanga based on the type of activity. The nakshatras or the lunar mansions, they are also categorized based on their nature. For example, we have the Charachala or the movable nakshatras like a Shravana. We have some fixed nakshatras like the Uttaras and Rohini. So also depending on the nature of activity, you can support yourself with the type of the nakshatra. Similarly for Tithi, generally we have some inauspicious tithis. The Muhurta Chintamani is always saying that the Purnima or Amavasya, which is the full moon, and the new moon, and the Rikta tithis, which is the 4th, 9th, 14, these tithis or these lunar days are not the best. Also generally the days which are lorded by malefics like Saturday and Tuesday, because this is Mars and Saturn, these may also not be generally auspicious. But for example, for legal cases or like going to war, the Saturday and Tuesday may be very good days. Also, we say that if you have problem to choose the muhurta, you can always take the Cancer or Taurus Rashi Lagna, then this at least will give you some support of the moon. If you like this video so far, please click the thumbs up. It helps me with the algorithm to make my videos visible on this platform. Click the subscribe button if you'd like to be notified about similar videos. Coming up, we are publishing once, twice in the week. It's all about Vedic astrology in the tradition of Sri Achyutananda. And now let's right back to this topic. So now we already have the big period, we have found the day, and now we have to choose which time of the day. And as you can suspect, the time of the day will depend or will change with the ascendant, because we know that by average the ascendant will change every 2.5 hours. So then there are 3 important rules here. We are choosing such ascendant in which the 8th house in that chart will be empty. So we don't want any planets in the 8th house, because any planet in the 8th house can end the event prematurely. So whatever you are doing, let's say you are writing a book, you have moon there. So because of sadness or some people-related activity or family-related activity, this action can be stopped. Similarly, if you have, for example, Mars in the 8th, then this could be due to conflict. So if you have the marriage and the Mars in the 8th, then at the wedding or at any important event, some conflict may come up. So we don't want to have any planets in the 8th house. Also, we don't want to have any planets in the Karya bhava, which is the house of the activity. For example, for children's 5th, for properties is the 4th. If you are starting, so entering the property, you have the Rahu Saturn there, then you will have some ghosts in the house. Or if you have Mars Ketu, or let's say you have there a moon with the Rahu, then you may have some politics with your family, or you have Ketu with Saturn, then the in-laws may have some issues if this is a connected house or something like that. So you don't want to have any planet in the 4th house, because it shows some external intervention. And similar external intervention, but more on the subject or internal life level, is when you have some planet joining the moon. So that is the 3rd rule. We don't want to have any planet joining the moon, because that may show that the whole activity will be connected or will depend very much on that planet which is joining the moon. So we want to be that activity free, independent, no strings attached. We want to have moon free in the muhurta chart. So these 3 rules: free 8th house, free Karya bhava, which is the house of activity, and also the free moon. And I would say 4th one, this is the positive. So the first 3 are ensuring that there is no abrupt ending, and now we want to have a support of nature for these activities. And now when it comes to the positive things, then this is the Karaka. So each activity we have the planet related to it. So this will be the Karaka. For example, for relationship it will be Venus, for career life will be Mercury, for anything related to properties it will be a Ketu or Mars. So basically whatever is the Karaka of the activity, you want this Karaka to be placed in Kendra. So if you are starting anything related to relationships, then you want to have this Venus in Kendra. If you are starting anything related to career life, then you want to have this Mercury in Kendra, and so on. So we are ensuring that there are no negativities, there are nothing in the 8th house, there is nothing in the Karya bhava, and then we are ensuring that the positivity is there, so which means the support of the nature. So we want to have that Karaka, which is related to activity. For example, if you are writing, that's Mercury. If you are doing anything related to relationship, it's Venus. If it's about the work, it's Mercury. So you want to have this benefic in the Kendra, and this will ensure that the activity will get the success. This way we can manipulate this chart to get the best outcome. So now you have the good set of rules to choose the big period, then the day. The day may be a little bit tricky. You need to study the Tithi Nakshatra and Vara. From the Muhurta Chintamani, there are some rules which nakshatras and tithis are good for certain activities. So there is some reference to the Shastra. We need to see, this is this set of nakshatras, this is this set of tithis. But then you have found the day, then you have these 4 rules to choose the ascendant. And then the Navamsa, Muhurta Chintamani, is saying that the benefic ascendant with the benefics in Kendra is auspicious. So if you have found this ascendant 2 hours, then this divided by 9, so you may have like 5 to 15 minutes, sectors of time when you can even choose that to your advantage and choose the benefic Navamsa with the benefics in Kendra according to Muhurta Chintamani, so you can also choose that. So with the settings of the Muhurta chart, we can change the negativities which are present in our birth chart. So in this way we are empowered by the astrology to not be in that passive state and manipulate the karma or a fate in such a way to get the best results. We could also say that the Jataka or the birth chart is astrology of the past. This is like a Jungian or the Freudian psychology, but there is also astrology of courage or astrology of change, which is the Muhurta chart, how we can change the mothers, we can take things into our hands, so this is more like the Adlerian psychology. Okay guys, I hope this video will help you to choose the Muhurta. Please write down in the comments which point was most interesting or most useful for you. I always like to read your comments. Please click the thumbs up to make my videos visible. Subscribe for more and see you in the next one.